podcast from the beautiful Winners Award Group showroom in Coconut Creek. I'm your host, Drew Alberto, and I've got a new friend with me, Kristen Brevi from Office Furniture Solutions right down the street. Thanks for coming today.
Thank you for having me.
So, why don't you start by telling the audience today and myself how we got to know each other with your first golf experience.
Okay, so this was my first golf experience. It was my ever.
Ever.
Okay.
Yep.
I made sure to get my outfit and look like a golfer.
You did a good job. I thought you were a professional golfer when I met you.
It was great. I always like being the best looking person in a place. So
okay.
That was the first,
Sure.
And then I go up to get a coffee and I'd see, it's you two.
Yeah,
there.
Kirsten and I were standing
like,
there trying to get our caffeine fix.
These two victims I can abuse for the rest of the day.
Yep, I introduced myself and you told me that you work for our good friends Lise and Eric over there, and shout out to those guys because they're great at what they do.
They're
They've
wonderful.
been doing it a long time. And then the conversation went all sideways after that. Golf, we talked about a little bit of golf because you're not really a golfer yet.
Right,
you're not yet. You haven't hit that one good shot that makes us all an addict, but you will. And then we talked about our kids.
Mm-hmm.
So tell us about those rugrats you got there. You got a new one and a 3.
Yes. So my oldest one, Camden, he's about to be 3. And then Colson is 8 months, and they're brothers.
Okay.
And very different. Starting to play together more now, so it's like fun to see that. My older son's like a real big athlete. Anything with the ball, all the sports, he loves it.
You said he's a professional ice skater practically.
He's already ice skating, yep. He's been ice skating at the War Memorial over there.
And he wants to play hockey.
He wants to play hockey. He wants to be a goalie.
Okay.
Yep.
Bob Rofsky is his idol then?
Yep.
Okay.
He's got the helmet. He runs around the house with it. He loves it. So he's definitely, I think his first word was ball.
Well, I'm pretty sure you're going to have to get him into the first tee sooner than later and start having him learn golf too. Yeah. Because all those hockey players, once they retire, and even before they retire, like Kirsten just eloquently articulated, they play golf and they have their golf charity tournaments and they have their foundations that they raise money through golf. So I would say you're doing a fantastic job because he's out there practicing and getting better. But I would add golf. It's great for business.
Yeah,
like Lise, I'm sure knows, and Eric too, because they're both really good golfers. And I'm sure that they get a good amount of relationships
for sure.
from the golf course. So how do you develop relationships without golf? What is your secret sauce for your business development side of your practice?
So I guess what I do is I always think about how I can add on to their business or help them out, when people talk about what they do, I'm like, how could I add value to you, right? So a lot of times, I want to be like, oh, send me business. Right. I'm like, how can I help you and then you help me, right?
It sounds to me like you've read The Go-Giver by Bob Berg and you like that.
So it's like the whole time I'm talking to this person, I'm thinking about, okay, well, how can I add value to their business, right?
Yeah.
So I guess I can give you an example. Let's say a commercial realtor.
Okay.
Right? A lot of times I come across a client and they sign the lease, before finding me, they sign the lease for the space and they're, going to be there for 5 years and they're talking about their 5-year plan. They want to plan for growth, but the area where they're going to have their workstations, they're thinking, oh, that can fit, 20 people and it really can only fit 10.
That sounds like a bad problem to have.
So what I try to encourage and I try to tell, these realtors, look, or if you have a space that you're having a hard time leasing or selling or whatever, let me do a visual rendering for it. Let me show, what we can do in the space.
So you get to do pretty much the creative side of things as well as the sales and business development.
So that's really awesome. I enjoy doing that part of it. Okay. So I'm like, look, obviously not going to charge you. Hopefully whoever goes into that space, you can say, hey, this is the person that did that rendering, and maybe, we did an introduction that way.
Okay.
So things like that. I always try to remember people's birthday.
Okay.
Send a little happy birthday goes a long way.
November 4th. So, don't forget
I'll
it
keep
now.
It in mind.
And Curfton's is coming up before mine. You're next month, right?
Saturday?
Saturday. So get his card in the mail like today.
44.
44? Yeah, I thought it was a little older.
Just a little bit.
He's like 27 in fitness, but that's another story. So are you gonna get out on the golf course now? Are you gonna start doing some shadow golf or what?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I want to try again. I want to do a couple lessons. I think maybe. I don't know. It was tough. I don't like when I'm not good at something.
Well, what was the lesson that you took at 6 Degrees? I don't remember what it was that day. Was it irons or?
Yeah, I mean it was just hitting the ball.
Hitting the ball. Okay.
Just like practicing like my swing and just hitting the ball.
Yeah.
So I was able to at least hit the ball, but it was like popping it up. That was like.
Okay. That's the first step is making good contact.
So. Yeah.
And you also used to be in fitness. You were a professional bodybuilder as well.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about that, and of course Curfton's going to be interested in that because he's got a background there too. Yeah. So, how did that?
So I started. This was like 7 years ago now. Yeah, it was like 7 years ago. But I started working out with this trainer at the Athletic Factor gym, which is like a great gym.
Okay.
So I started working out.
We'll send them an invoice if you want to do a commercial for them.
They're great people there. But I started working out with this trainer, and I didn't know that he had a team of girls that he trained to compete. So he's like, oh, you should. I'm like, really? I'm like, I don't know. I never like. I'm like, I don't know about this. I'm telling you, like, I can just tell, like, you would do really good.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, all right, screw it. Let's try. So I did 20 weeks of training for my competition, and I did my first show. It was, I think it was the Diamond Classic at, like, Boca High School or something like that.
What year was that?
And it was, like, 7 years ago. I don't know.
17?
What is
roughly?
that?
2017?
Yeah, and
I'm gonna have to ask her if she knows Mike Ashley next.
I don't know. I won first place in my first show.
Oh my gosh! Congratulations. It's a big
deal.
I
didn't know. Bikini. Yeah.
Okay.
And so I was like, oh, okay, it's kind of cool.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Congratulations on that. How long did you do the professional circuit for that?
So for 2 years, I did one show. I actually kind of wish I didn't win first place on the first show, because then the second one, I feel like I didn't kind of like go as hard. So then I won fifth place in the second one. And then I was kind of like, I don't really want to do this anymore. It was just a lot. Like for me, it's just like, it's a lot of time, like I literally was like scrolling through like cheat meal hashtags on Instagram. I could not walk through Publix because it's like and I'm not even like a sweets person, but you're dying. All you can think about is like eating what you can't eat.
Okay.
So so it was like, but I learned a lot about my body, so I'm happy I did it. I never thought I could do that. So yeah, I learned a lot, and then I got abs, and I like never lost my abs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that was a good thing.
Even after a couple pregnancies?
Yeah.
Good
even
for
I got
you.
so it's kind of like, I really think if you kind of like build the foundation and you really like put in the work for a good amount of time, like it's kind of just maintenance from there.
And that's exactly how Coach Sean Kicker tells us to get better at golf, is learn the right technique and practice it.
Yeah.
And it makes perfect sense. You build a good foundation.
Yep.
And then just like your son is doing with ice skating, he's barely 3 and he's already zooming around the rink.
Yep. Yeah. So, and he keeps trying and trying. He falls, he gets right back up. Like, he loves it.
That's the kind of. I wish I had some kids like that on my son's basketball team this year, because that was a disaster for another podcast. I'm probably gonna have to announce my retirement from coaching, so I'll let you know when the press conference for that is. But I think I'm gonna have to hang it up after the 15 and 16-year-old kids didn't listen to me this year. But that's another.
Why didn't they listen to you?
Yeah, they just don't have the right attitude. They wanted to build up their stats and bomb half-court shots instead of win.
No.
And it's a different world. Everybody wants to be, no offense to Steph Curry, I think he's a great basketball player. Just like when, Curfton and I were kids, we were trying to shoot fadeaways like Michael Jordan, and maybe 1 out of 50 kids could actually make a fadeaway, let alone multiple fadeaways. They're all trying to embody Steph Curry. Just like in golf, everybody that's playing golf says, yeah, I'm in golf because Tiger Woods plays golf. Right. And I was a big Tiger Woods fan. I mean, he did a ton for the sport, just like Jordan and Kobe and now Steph. So it's an uphill battle with teenagers. You're a long way from teenagers, but having your own kids listen to you sometimes can be a challenge, let alone somebody else's kids.
Yeah.
So it's it's a different animal, right, Kirsten? and Kirsten's kids are a little younger than mine. I started earlier than him even though he's got a year or so on me. But I mean, I think that your business is a cool business. You get to go in and be a consultant and design and do all those types of things. What's your favorite part about what you do?
My favorite part of it is kind of like helping to educate, I guess, like the business owner on like, valuing, their employees a little bit more and like thinking about like the comfort of the employees, right? So I like to educate them as far as like, the height of the cubicles, right? So I tell people that, a lot of recruiters will say, like when they're, so how it is, the landscape right now is it's hard to find good people. It's hard to find good talent, especially like in sales, right?
In every profession except trades, I think, right now. I mean, trades is actually exacerbated from some of the previous guests, but every profession, I mean, we work with a lot of middle market and small business companies in my business, and I think 9 out of 10 of them say, man, I really need to hire A and then fill in the blank.
Right. So a lot of companies, right, they're battling over talent, right? So, and sometimes it's not always about the money or whatever. It's kind of like the environment that you're providing, right? So we want to bring people back to the office. I do feel like, you learned how to be a professional, right? Like in your 20s and 30s, you learned from being in the office environment, right? So you're walking by so-and-so, you're seeing how, they talk to each other, like, or in a sales environment. Like what I learned when I was a sales manager, I would put one salesperson next to another one, like in their cubicle, somebody who maybe like wasn't as good and a more seasoned person, and that person would hear the things that the seasoned person was saying, and it would elevate them, right?
I was in recruiting for about 7 years, and that's exactly how I learned how to do everything.
Right.
So prep a candidate and do all those
so everybody wants to work from home, but it's like you can't learn how to be a professional by yourself in your kitchen.
Well, not everybody wants to work from home. I hate working from home. I like coming in the office, but that's probably because I like the people that I work with.
Yeah.
And hopefully they like me and they're not just faking it, but I'm out on the road like you, doing sales calls and meetings and business development at least 2 or 3 days a week, but the other couple days a week I want to be here. I want to be here at Winners Award Group. Of course we shoot the podcast here, like because you're on it right now, but I want to be here. I want to be able to bounce ideas because we get to be very creative like you in helping employers a lot of times with, like you said, employee retention. People like getting a gift.
Right.
People like feeling appreciated. People like a happy work environment with nice tables and furniture or cubicles.
So that's what I tell them. I'm like, if you spend a little bit more and like you're like showing that you have this beautiful like nice environment, like you're gonna get the better talent. So it's worth it to spend a little bit more to do that.
Okay.
So that's why I've been kind of educating people, and I think they appreciate that I'm giving them, they're like, because they want to know like kind of what's happening.
And what would you change about what you do? If you could change anything about your industry, or is there anything you would change and say, you know what, we need to do this better, or the industry as a whole needs to do this better? I'm putting you on the spot now, Kristen, but that's okay.
The speed of getting quotes back. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. I don't have a lot of patience. I like to get things done very quickly, and I think that's like actually one of my strong suits is that like I will turn something around as quickly as I can. I will pull every string to get it done fast.
So how long does it take? Like for example, Lou was asking you earlier about a conference table and some chairs. What's the turnaround time on a quote?
So it depends on what type of. I think for you guys, like I do multiple quotes, so it might take like a couple days to get it back. If it's something that's like custom, it just depends.
Yeah, but I mean, as long as you set the clear expectation and then beat it, you're fine, right? Yeah. Okay, very cool, very cool. And then, what other hobbies? Obviously you're not a golfer yet. We'll work on that. But what other hobbies do you get into and those lead to business? Like, what do you play, pickleball or tennis, or go out drinking, sipping tequilas and wine tastings, or what?
Yeah, I'm really good with the drinking sports.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I do really well with the happy hour type of. But no, actually, sometimes I do feel like those type of networking events, like, they're not as productive. One thing I did like about the golf, what was it called?
Oh, 6 degrees.
6 degrees.
For 6 degrees, yeah.
One thing I liked about 6 Degree is I felt like it was more of a style of, like, how can we help each other? And, like, I really like that. I feel like some of the other groups that are bigger and not as intimate, it's not really as productive.
I agree wholeheartedly.
So I did really like 6 Degree because of that. And I felt like it was just, like, I felt comfortable. I didn't feel, like, nervous. I guess sometimes, like, these other events I'll go to, like, I feel like I have to drink because I'm kind of nervous, to talk to the people. I mean, even though I don't look like I'd be nervous, like, I don't really like public speaking or anything like that. Okay. So I'm like, I need a wine to be able to talk to some of these people.
You hit that really well at 6 Degrees because I felt very comfortable.
But
I think I
could
speak for Kirsten. We were just kind of yapping it up like we were friends.
Yeah. So it was great. Yeah. Like, you guys, like, made me feel comfortable right away, which was, like, nice because it's awesome. Like, okay, obviously I think I look like I never played golf. I think it was pretty obvious.
Well, you had a good golf outfit on.
I mean, that was the most important part.
Play golf.
The whole week I was focused on the outfit, not even any of the technique, any of that. Because I was like, let me just at least look like a golfer, even if not one.
So, ladies, if you're listening and you don't play golf, you should play golf for the outfits, is what you should take away from this show.
Yeah. Yeah,
okay.
100%. You just have to look, fake it till you make it. You just gotta look the part,
And you know what? I mean, as a woman, it's pretty easy to break into the good old boys club, and I'm sure your owners, Lisa and Eric, would agree, is, if you can even break 100, let's say, shoot less than 100, you pretty much anybody will invite you back as long as you have a good attitude on the golf course. I think I've only played golf with 5 or 6 people ever in the last 6 or 7 years that I said, you know what, that guy, never again.
I definitely think I could add fun to the golf experience. Yeah.
Do you smoke cigars?
No.
Okay. Can you drive a golf cart?
Not well, but I will.
Oh, then that's fun right there. If you get somebody that can't drive into a golf cart, and you're riding
while drinking.
Well, it adds a little. It adds another element to the fun, I guess. I cannot drink on the golf course. The second alcohol touches my lips, I can't hit the ball anymore.
Okay, I was gonna ask you because I feel like the other experience I've had on the golf course was like for charity events where like I was like at this hole just like serving drinks, right?
Charity events are drinking events with golf attached.
Right.
Okay.
Right, and I was like thinking to myself, like, does it make you better or worse, or just like an excuse to not be bad because you're like, oh, I was drinking?
I'm in the minority. Most people will have at least one drink, if not 27 drinks, while they're out there golfing, and then at a charity event. It's, for some reason, charity events are for cheating on your scorecard to try and win, and drinking as much booze as you can. We're doing a bunch of swag for the Children's Harbor golf tournament, and I'm on the committee, and we're making donations to the charity. And we were talking about Children's Harbor earlier today, and they're talking about trying to have alcohol on like every other hole.
I think it would be a good idea.
Okay. We'll
I
send
also
this to
think
Tiffany
that
and Eric.
Once people are a little more drunk, they open their wallets a little faster.
It's funny you mentioned that.
It's actually kind of smart.
You got to hear about Lou and Nick's foundation that helps the kids with cancer go to camp and get scholarships and learn how to ice skate and learn how to play golf. And they have the same philosophy. I hope that we don't get canceled and Lou tells me I can't air this episode, but they have a really nice 2-day event. The second day is the golf tournament, and they raise a good chunk of money in that. But most of the money is raised the night before at the gala and auction, and the philosophy is, black tie or close to it affair, really nice food, great venue at Broken Sound Country Club up in Boca.
I gotta go to that.
You should. It's in April every year. You should 100% go this year. But I'd say, I don't know, 80% of the money is raised at the gala and dinner, and the other 20% is from the golf tournament. And those might be 5% off one way or the other, but you're right. People spend more money on the auctions when their wife has a pretty dress on, and they've got their tuxedo or really nice suit on. For some reason, that combination, and charities have it figured out when they do their galas, triples or quadruples the amount of money they can raise. Yeah. And on that note, tell us a little bit about the nonprofit that you were telling us when we had lunch. Give us the rundown on that.
So it's called Children's Opportunity Group.
Okay.
And we've been around for, I think it was like our 100-year, 80-year anniversary.
That's a long time.
Yeah, and it's almost like an adult sorority, I would say, right, in Fort Lauderdale.
It's all ladies.
It's all ladies, yeah. And there's about 50 of us.
Okay.
And this is my 3rd year, and so how I ended up getting involved in it is I went to their first luncheon.
Okay.
And the luncheon is in March or April of every year. And they had all these baskets, like beautiful baskets, that they auction off and all that. And I'm like, wow, I just saw the event that they put on, and I'm like, wow, like this is incredible. Like I just know how hard it is to like put something on like that. I'm like, wow, like I really want to be a part of this. One of my really good girlfriends, Lais, she invited me to the luncheon. She bought a table, and I was like, wow, I want to be involved. Like,
okay.
You know, so she got me in, and I actually joined the committee that, you know, decides on how the money gets kind of divvied out. What we do is we donate the proceeds from our luncheon every year to small charities in Broward County, children's charities. Actually, Children's Harbor is one of them.
Yeah.
So we'll have each person on the committee go out. They'll interview them. They'll talk about their charity. They do a little bit of a tour. They say, like, you know, the things that they need, and then how much money they want, and then we all vote. We go through the list of, you know,
that's cool,
what they're needing. So
and you put a big number on it when we were talking. I think you said $100,000.
Yeah.
And that's a one-day event.
And
that raises $100,000.
Yep.
Good for you. God bless. That's amazing.
Yeah. So it's great. I love how they focus on the small children's charities. I think it's.
And, you know, if someone listens to this and they want to get in touch with that charity or get involved in that charity, because we have many women in 6 degrees, as you know, and then Ladies Executive Golf Society. I know the people that run Miami, Broward, and Palm Beach, and they're great ladies. They've all been on the podcast before, talking about golf and being a woman and networking and going to all these charity events and all these other things. So when it comes to that, how do we get in touch with your charity? Do we contact you, or how do we get in touch with the charity?
Yeah, you can contact me. We have an Instagram page also.
Okay.
A Facebook, all of that.
And if you're a man, you can go by invite only, or what's the deal there?
Yeah, you're a man. You can go. You can go. Yep.
Okay.
So we're gonna be.
Curfton, we might have a luncheon to go to in March.
Just let me know. Put on
So the tickets sell out very quickly.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'll make sure, you know, get you guys on the list.
Well, maybe we'll work with Winners Award Group and see what we can donate as far as a basket. Maybe
that would be great.
A nice fancy stemless wine glass set with a couple bottles of wine or something like that.
That would be awesome. Yeah.
And we can brainstorm other ideas too.
Yeah.
But I would be honored to help.
Thank you so much.
Out.
Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, what else do we need to know about you that we don't know yet, Kristen? Peel back the onion for us.
I don't know. What else you need to know?
I'm not asking for your deepest, darkest secret or anything. I'm not looking to have you go viral for something you don't want to go viral for. But, you know, tell us something interesting that we don't know. I'll tell you one about me, and people get shocked by this. I shared with you earlier that I was a personal defense with a handgun instructor for 3 years when I lived in Nevada. And knowing that about me and some of my other careers, you would never expect that I've been to the Vienna Symphony in Austria.
Really?
Yeah, it doesn't really fit into the rest of my hobbies with golf and smoking, food and cooking and, you know, now playing pickleball and trying to coach basketball with teenagers that don't listen. But what else do you do that's interesting?
You know what, I like to try a little bit of everything.
Okay.
You know, I always think it's important to have like something that you have your work, you know, then you have like your friends or family, and then like you have your personal hobby, like something that drives you, that motivates you, right? So I'm like, I had a horse.
Okay.
I did the competing thing.
Did you do show competitions or racing?
No.
Competing in bodybuilding.
Bodybuilding, yeah.
Okay.
Now I'm actually working on my personal training certification.
Okay.
Right? Just like a personal achievement. I always think it's important to have something to look forward to, you know. So I'm working on that. I'm slacking on it a little bit because of, kids and working or whatever.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, I'm looking for a new hobby. Like maybe golf becomes that. Maybe I get become really good.
Sometimes a new hobby finds you.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
I've pickleball found me. My dad started playing pickleball. He's 70 years young, but he hates being outside in the hot sun. So he found an indoor pickleball place, and now he's got me picking up a pickleball paddle.
And actually, I'm not that great. I'm actually a really good skier. I love skiing. Skiing is one of my favorite.
Downhill skiing? Or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I love skiing.
That's a great hobby for South Florida. Fantastic.
Yeah, I've been skiing since I was a little girl. I'm really excited, actually. My father just bought a house in North Carolina in Waynesville.
Okay.
We love it up there. We're going to go in the next 2 weeks, and I'm bringing my sons up there, to kind of...
I'm sure you're going to have a blast.
Yeah, so we're going to
It won't be snowing, in August.
No, but hopefully my son will be skiing, this winter in the same place that I learned when I was little.
Yeah.
So, in Sugar Mountain is where we're going to go.
Okay.
So, yeah.
I love the Carolinas and Tennessee and
it's so
Georgia.
Nice up there.
I've spent a lot of time, as much time as I can.
It's crazy how many people from Florida we met when we were up there, and it's it's a 10-hour drive.
Well, we've been flooded with so many people down here in Broward and Palm Beach and Dade that a lot of people that have lived here forever are moving up there now.
Yep.
It's a funky cycle that nobody really understands, but. Well, you know what? It's been absolutely a blast having you, Kristen. You're welcome back anytime, and when you want to come back and promote your charity event, beginning of next year, we absolutely want you to come back again. Awesome. So, thank you so much for being here. For Kristen Brevi, I'm Drew Alberto from the Winners Award Group Showroom. Thanking our sponsors. We'll catch you next week on the On Par Podcast.